Hi friends, so if you are considering buying, selling, or investing in 2025, I don't care if you're in California or in the Midwest or in New York or even maybe in Hawaii or Alaska or something, you need to watch this video first. Now I say that even though I'm going to talk mainly about Charlotte, North Carolina and the local trends here as well as Upper South Carolina. This is one of the most moved to areas in North America, so what happens here is going to follow across the country, and it's going to give you an idea of what's happening in basically almost every area of the country because it spans across the globe. Also going to talk about inventory trends, price trends, why homes are going up, what that means for buyers, sellers, and investors. I'm also going to talk about mortgage rates, where they're at currently, why they're at where they're at currently, what experts are saying as we move forward into 2025 and beyond, as well as why mortgage applications are at an all-time low right now. So with that being said, my name is James Lanius. I'm a local real estate professional / realtor in Charlotte, North Carolina and Upper South Carolina. And I get calls, texts, and emails all the time from folks like you looking to buy, sell, or invest in my market or other markets if you just have real estate questions. So don't be afraid to give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me an email. I have people reaching out every day about real estate, so you can find that on the screen right here, probably, hopefully, and you can also find it in the description below and on my YouTube banner. So reach out today, whether you're looking to buy now or in 100 years. Maybe not 100 years, maybe 100 days. We'll start with that. Lastly, be sure to like this video if this is valuable content to you. Go ahead and subscribe to our channel for basically everything Charlotte and Upper South Carolina, as well as anything money, finance, or real estate related. We talk about it all, and we go over everything you might need to know. So let's go ahead and dive into this month's market update. First thing we are going to cover is the current state of the market. Now, I will just go ahead and give you a warning in advance. If you do not like numbers, if in math class your eyes just kind of hazed over and you did not catch anything that was happening, you might want to skip this section because this one is probably more for my fellow analytical thinkers. So if you do not like numbers, if you don't want to know the sales prices and the year-over-year growth and the average days on market, listed and sales activity, and all the numbers associated with that, go ahead and skip to the next section, which we mainly talk about the market trends, comparisons. We talk more about homes and mortgage rates. So just a forewarning. But for those that want to stay around, please do. We're going to go ahead and start with home prices. So in Charlotte and Upper South Carolina, which we'll just call the greater Charlotte metro region, the median sales price is currently at $385,000, which is actually a 2.7% increase since a year ago this month. So although the median sales price has actually not increased at all since last month, the average sales price has, because currently the average sales price is at $491,000, which is a 9.1% year-over-year growth since 2024 in January, and last month's was actually at $476,000. So that's almost a $16,000 growth in the average sales price since last month, and that's a 9.1% growth in the average sales price since last year. So specifically, I would say in luxury homes, the home prices have excelled expectations. There's been significant growth in these, and demand has remained higher. So a lot of the reason is because prices have just risen so much, so people have to buy homes that are over $500,000 if they want to get what they want. So those are home prices. Next, let's talk about inventory levels. So inventory is basically the number of homes that are currently on the market. And right now in Charlotte, the greater Charlotte region, total inventory is at 8,204 homes. So this is a 32.7% increase since last year in January, which is a ton. Last month, we were at 8,111, so really not that much. And next, I want to talk about month supply. And month supply is basically how long it is going to take for all of the homes on the market to sell, essentially. And right now, it's at 2.3 months. So currently, with the rate of, or the speed at which homes are selling, plus the number of homes that are on the market, it would take 2.3 months to sell all the homes on the market. And this is the same as last month, actually. It hasn't really risen much, but is a 27.8% year-over-year increase since January 24. So very significant, the amount of inventory on the market and the amount of homes on the market currently. So Next, I want to talk about days on market. Days on market is essentially the amount of time it takes from listing your home for sale till the point where you get an offer and you accept it and you're under contract. So average days on market right now in Greater Charlotte is 57 days. That is a 35.7% increase since a year ago, which is very drastic. Last month was at 50 days. So we've even seen a 7-day growth in days on market in just a month, which is pretty significant. I will say that we are in January and February, the slowest buying season. This will probably lessen as the months get warmer because that's just what happens, but it is significant because 35% since last year means it's going to be higher than it was a year ago, even in the spring. So cumulative days on market is at 64 days. This is a 39.1% increase. Last month was 60 days, so that's risen 4 days, and it's all pretty crazy, just to be honest with you. Listings and sales activity. So listings and sales activity wise, new listings are currently up 11.3% since a year ago at 4,000, just over 4,000 listings actually. Last month we were at 2,651 new listings. So that's actually up a lot since a month ago. Pending sales are at 3,320, which is a 0% increase actually since a year ago. So that's, pretty on average what it was a year ago. So closed sales currently are at 2,482, which is a 7.1% increase since a year ago. Last month they were at 3,185, and that was quite a bit. So they've actually decreased a little bit, closed sales, and kind of makes sense because January is generally the slowest month. So we'll see a pickup in closed sales, pending sales, and new listings as we head into March and April, especially May, because everyone wants to buy when it's warmer here. So now, I want to go ahead and move on to the Housing Affordability Index. This is the last part of this section on the current state of the market. And the Housing Affordability Index, this is essentially a formula that compares the average annual income for an average person here in Charlotte with the average or median sales price. So this is essentially saying, based on the average income, this is the amount of affordability for a region based on what the average home price is. So right now, the affordability index has actually not changed at all. It's still at 88, which is actually down 4.3% since last year, which is a little bit discouraging. That's what it was last month too, is at 88, and I think the month before that even. So affordability has unfortunately not changed much. A year ago it was at 94, so we are actually currently at record lows here in the Charlotte region, which is unfortunate. This, of course, leads to buyers not being able to get into the houses they want because income is just not meeting the average housing price. So it's just a little bit rough right now, to be honest with you, with affordability and prices of everything, to be honest. In 2013, for example, this index was almost over. So this shows really how much affordability has tightened up in the last 10 to 15 years, especially in really growing markets like Charlotte and, well, a lot of other places, but Charlotte's grown a ton in the last 10 years, I would say. So moving on to market trends. So I would still say on a high level that suburban growth is at an all-time high. Places such as Rock Hill, South Carolina, Fort Mill, South Carolina, Kannapolis, North Carolina, Concord, North Carolina, really remain strong alternatives to Charlotte and the inner city of Charlotte because places are more affordable. You can get in for less. You can get more bang for your buck in these outer Charlotte areas or suburbs, and they're really all within 30 minutes of Charlotte, so you can't beat them. I would also say that townhomes and condos are a great option for a lot of buyers because some people who could afford a $200,000 to $300,000 home 5 years ago could have bought a single family home. Now that's going to afford you a condo or a townhome, at least in Charlotte. You can get some single family homes for that cheap, but it might not be the size and the location that you want. So something to consider. There's a lot higher inventory in these, so there might be less demand, thus leading to a better deal on these, of course, as well as the fact that single family homes just sell for more generally. So luxury market has seen faster recovery. This is, of course, driven by relocations and stable demand. Homes over $500,000 are in this category, I would say, and definitely something to keep an eye on. Okie dokie, folks. So we're going to move on to mortgage rates and what the current state of these are. So right now, the current 30-year fixed mortgage rate is at 6.89%, and the last month it was about at 6.93, so maybe a tiny decrease, but really not too much. Now, the 15-year fixed rate is at 6.05%, and this was at 6.14% last month. So these have dwindled slowly down, but really not a ton. Rates do remain above the 10-year average. So the last 10 years, the average for rates, if you have no idea, was at about 4%. And this is, just from now through probably back in 2015. But historically, in the last 50 years, since Freddie Mac began tracking rates, we are currently a little bit under the overall average, which was 7.37%. So yeah, in the last 10 years, we're high. In the last 50 years, we are lower. But of course, inflation has happened and prices have gone up. So that's going to change things a little bit than it was even when rates were at 16% back in the 80s, because everything costs so much less. So experts right now are saying that if unemployment does rise, the Fed might lower interest rates, and of course this would reduce mortgage costs a little bit, but it wouldn't be a ton. That being said, most experts do predict that modest rate declines are expected in 2025. Nothing too crazy, but maybe slight cuts, but we'll see what happens. I mean, rates did cut a little bit last year, but it wasn't a ton. They did have a big drop before the election, which is not very surprising because whether you're on the right or left, presidents do tend to inflate the markets and sometimes cause the economy, whether it's gas prices or mortgage rates, to look a lot better right before an election to make things, seem better for voters. But that's all I'll say about that. I'm just saying. But, that's just politics. So we'll stay out of that. But I would say that regardless of what mortgage rates are, make sure you're shopping around with a mortgage broker. Don't just go to your local bank and get 1 or 2 rate packages. Make sure you talk to a mortgage broker, and they'll talk to 100 plus banks and lenders and get you the best rate. And guess what? You don't have to pay them. The lender pays their commission, which is awesome. So they do their job and you save money. Now, I would say this is one of the most shocking things that has happened in the market this month. That is mortgage application trends, because this recent market shift has led to mortgage applications hitting a drastic historic low. So right now, I'd say in the last 6 months, mortgage applications have hit the lowest level since 1996. And this is according to the Mortgage Bankers Association. And even in February, mortgage applications are down 2.9%. So it's really been crazy. That I think a big part actually was because of the election. People weren't sure what was going to happen. I think there's still a lot of uncertainty with the government and everything that's happening and the wars and all this stuff, whether to buy a home or not. And so that's led to not as many people applying for loans for homes or mortgages. There's been a lot of different factors that have contributed to this. Of course, high mortgage rates have affected this because people don't want to pay for a mortgage if their rates are high. There's been higher mortgage rejection rates. So this is actually up to 20.7%. So 1 out of 5 mortgage applications are denied. So we can see that a lot of people are in debt more and a lot of people are struggling to keep their credit score up, which honestly is reflected by the inflation and the affordability in the entire US. So not too surprising there. And yeah, buyers are just struggling with home prices. They're struggling with the borrowing costs and everything. So I guess my next question would be, all this considered, what does this mean for the Charlotte market and really the US market overall? So I would say the biggest thing is that buyers are just going to be more hesitant. It's going to take long decisions, and this is going to slow demand slightly. And I think that's a reason why across the US you've seen a longer days on market. And also there's going to be more demand for affordability. So I would say, like I mentioned earlier, condos and townhomes are going to become more attractive to folks. And if you have cash to buy a home, boom, you're the winner, because you don't have to pay or get a mortgage. I would say you don't have to pay interest on a home, right? So you can buy it outright. Currently for buyers, the inventory is up 32.7%. So you're going to have a lot more options, especially if you're looking for a townhome or a condo. There's a ton on the market, and there's more days on market as well for buyers. So this means you're going to have stronger negotiating power. I would definitely realize that this is probably going to change a bit as the market rolls into the spring area, because buying season picks up, the buyer pool picks up more, so there's going to be less days on market. Homes are probably going to go up, things aren't going to sit as long. So that's something to consider. Now, some pros of this market for sellers: prices do remain strong. Median and average home values are still rising, which is a great thing if you're trying to sell your home and you want to get as much as you can for it. But I would say well-priced, move-in ready homes that aren't, cluttered and dirty and are pretty well updated are going to have the best chance of selling quickly and for the most amount of money. Suburban demand in a lot of these areas is still rising, so a great market if you're looking to sell here in Charlotte. And if you have any questions or you're looking to sell, then go ahead and give me a call right now. Now, cons of the market for both buyers and sellers, I would say affordability is one of the biggest pros right now because things are just super expensive. The housing affordability index is at 88, and this is down 4.3% since last year. So has not changed at all. It was 88 last month and the month before as well, making it harder for buyers to buy homes, making it harder for people to really afford anything and get groceries and do all this stuff, which means people aren't going to be as interested in buying a house, right? So definitely something to think about. Another con is that the mid-tier market is slowing. So homes in the $300,000 to $400,000 range are taking longer to sell. There's just an oversupply of these. I would say that there's even a lower inventory in the lower markets under 200,000. There's hardly any homes actually for sale right now under 200,000. So that is definitely a con for a lot of people that can only afford something like that. Now let's move on to some opportunities. First of all, for investors. So if you're an investor, Charlotte is an amazing city, and in 1 minute, I'm going to talk about an amazing investment opportunity right here in Charlotte. But let's get through this first because the rise in demand for townhomes and condos makes for really strong rentals and resale opportunities. And I would say as well that the real estate market here in Charlotte is projected to grow between 13.5 and 27.1% in 2025. That is the 12th highest potential growth in the United States. So amazing potential for investment still, even if you didn't buy like 10 years ago and get properties really cheap, you can still get in right now and your home is going to appreciate a ton and your portfolio is going to grow exponentially. We are outpacing the national average overall in terms of appreciation and market growth. And let's talk about first-time home buyers. So are you looking to buy your first home, you're renting right now, and you don't think there are any options? Well, there is hope. There are opportunities for you because there are tons of new loan programs. There's tons of inventory growth. So these are going to help ease entry barriers. There are still options for down payment assistance and all this stuff. So I would consider doing this, which would be building equity in a townhome or condo, because these are lower entry level houses. You're not going to have to pay as much as you would if you buy a single family home, and you're still going to get a great property in a really solid area. And guess what? Your property is going to appreciate a ton because the market here is so strong, and then you can keep that property for 3, 4, 5 years, however long it takes, save up and actually buy a new property, maybe even take out a HELOC with the current equity in your townhome or condo, buy a single family home, one that fits your family's needs better, is a little bit larger, maybe on some land or something, and then rent out your townhome and condo, which are in high demand for rentals here in Charlotte. And it would just be a great opportunity. So there's tons of opportunities still as a first-time home buyer. If you have questions on how you can get into the market and succeed and build a real estate investment portfolio, or just get started in your first home, let me know. I'm happy to help. I worked and talk to first-time home buyers all the time, and I know the joys and the pains of renting versus buying. So let's talk about it. Now, with that being said, let's talk about this amazing investment opportunity here in Charlotte. So my partner, he is he relocated here to Charlotte some time back and has actually worked in banking and finance. Well, he worked in banking and finance for 20 plus years before he transitioned to real estate in 2016. So he's a realtor like myself, but now he works with a group of investors, and these investors combined have 22 portfolios and over 530 properties just in Charlotte alone. And he's looking to add more folks to his portfolio, and I will actually help along with that and kind of have some portfolios myself, or helping people with their portfolios myself. And essentially the model that he uses and that we use in our group allows you to passively grow wealth through real estate at little to no cost. We just essentially use the simple finance and appreciation and different strategies and formulas that a lot of these big real estate developers and companies use, except we're giving it to you because my partner learned these when he was in the finance and banking advisement industry for 20 plus years, and now he's using those strategies to help you. And the only thing we charge is that you use us as your real estate agent when you're looking to buy your investment properties or sell your investment properties. So we don't obviously charge for helping you build your portfolio because we're not financial advisors, obviously. So that's our income, and we just help with that, and he's happy to share as much knowledge as you want. So if you're interested in this, if you think you might qualify, you do have to have a decent amount of income. It really helps if you have a property already that you have equity in. If not, we can still help you out. We'll just have to talk about it and see if you would be able to be a good fit for it. But if you are interested to learn more about this, just give me a call, shoot me a text. Happy to help however I can. And like I've said in the rest of the video, the market here is kind of up and down. We're about to get into the warmer season, so it's really looking up. We're excited to see what's going to happen in the rest of 2025, but in the meantime, go and give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. You can find my contact info right there on the screen. You can also find it in the description below. You can schedule a private Zoom session with me via the link in the description below if you want to ask about this investment opportunity. Maybe you're a first-time home buyer looking to get into the market, but you don't know how, or any of these options. Go ahead and schedule something with me. People reach out all the time. I talk about real estate with folks calling, just like you, every day, so you're not going to be alone. And lastly, if you enjoyed this video, if it was valuable to you, please go ahead and like it in the bottom right. Go ahead and push the subscribe button. You can always turn off notifications and turn off automatic, showing you if there's a new video if you want, or you can turn it on if you want to see every new video we come out with. And that'll just help us grow in our real estate business and journey of helping folks here in our market. And I would say go ahead and do that now if you can. Take a picture of my number, and I really look forward to connecting with you soon. And if you have any real estate questions in the meantime, don't hesitate to reach out. Hope you have a great rest of your day. God bless.